Hello everyone and welcome to the monthly business special. As usual, we go through the absolute problems, the most difficult problems, the most annoying problems, some solutions to them. And today we're going to be going through the coaching wheel. And everything started with these business retreats and the interviews that I was doing with different businesses and business owners, people who work within construction, within manufacturing, within other industries. And then we had this retreat where we went away for 2 days to a hotel and spa, which was absolutely lovely. But we did actually spend a lot of time on what are the problems in our businesses and how do we solve them, and we helped each other. So a lot of what I'm going to be discussing today came from that retreat, including some of the really good solutions that have been tried and tested since then. So please feel free to include some of those into your daily and monthly routines in your business, as it is always worth trying something new until you find something that absolutely works better than anything else. So some of the problems that we were going through were around time management, were around business owners feeling overwhelmed, procrastinating, not doing things that they wanted to do, not doing things on time. Also around the discipline that is related to that, around the management systems that they use in their businesses, the growth of their business, and the planning that was involved. So a lot of those come up on a daily basis. And some of the solutions involve, for example, scheduling, better scheduling, so you can keep yourself disciplined, so you can avoid procrastination. Use the tools that are so very common now, but there are still people that don't know about it. For example, how easy it is to use a calendar for your weekly planning or for your entire business plan, to have a to-do list within your calendar within one weekly appointment. Or how easy it is to manage your entire team when you use apps such as Trello or Asana. So there's a lot of things that you can now use to schedule it better, a lot of free tools, easy tools. And next part was around the solutions to problems. The next part was processes. So we spoke to a lot of businesses before the retreat. We spoke about processes on the retreat. And we did come up with some solutions that are as easy as writing the process down. So you always have that really easy to follow couple of steps that will absolutely help you to move forward, whether you're very busy or whether it's really complicated or whether it's really simple. You have it written down, you can follow it. When someone new joins your organization, when you have a new project, a new job, a new client, you can definitely always follow the same process. Now, there's a lot of pressure. The business owners that I spoke to were under a lot of pressure. We don't have the time to sit down and write our processes. Okay, so while you're doing something, take 3 to 5 minutes, make a couple of notes on what you're doing and how you're doing it, because it's not going to take you too long and it's already a start. So pick a document, pick a place, pick an email draft if you wanted to. That's a very safe place to keep your notes, by the way, to start writing down your processes, because maybe one day you want to sell your business and it would be so easy to give them a ready process on how everything works in your business. How do you do your marketing? How do you manage your sales? Who does what? Now, a lot of it is then related to accountability. So, for example, if you have a team, you know exactly who everyone is accountable to. Now, what about yourself? Who are you accountable to? If you have another business that you work with, for example, a colleague, they also run a business in a completely different industry, you don't buy from each other, but you're both business owners, and it would be so helpful for the two of you to support each other, even with a weekly text message, just to check, how did you get on this week? I know you wanted to work on this, how did it go? If you have someone checking you every week on what you've done, you make so much more progress, you get things moving, and it's going forward. Of course, you can have a professional, so you can have a mentor, you can have a coach that will do that accountability for you. I recommend myself, of course, and also Dwayne on this call. And in the case of accountability, it is so much easier to do it with someone as opposed to just on your own. It depends on what your offering is in the business. Some of the problems are related to how much you're selling, what is the price point that you're selling it at, where are the leads coming from, and how does it actually go into a whole creating your revenue. So definitely it's worth reviewing that particular element of your business on a regular basis. I speak to businesses all the time, and a lot of them really are aware of the fact that you have to come up with new solutions, you have to innovate, you have to know what the new products are, new services out there that you could either offer to your clients or you could use to make what you deliver better for your clients, right? We talked a lot about replacements. So for example, the tools that you use, the resources you have at the moment, especially during the pandemic, where so many people were reliant, especially on suppliers and on certain places, situations. It's always good to have a backup. So do consider those replacements. See if you can have a couple of backups in place. And on top of all of that and all the considerations, please do think about your skills. So what could be the most useful skill that you could learn in the next 3 to 6 months? If you only had to take 13 minutes once a week to learn a new skill, and you could learn one every 3 to 6 months, what would be the most useful new skill for you to learn over the next couple of months? Now, I'm going to ask you in a couple of minutes, after the coaching wheel exercise, I'm going to ask you to pick a new skill, pick something that would be useful to you. Doesn't have to be business related. Of course, it can be. Doesn't have to be. It could be something personal. If you don't really feel like you're at balance, if you don't think that you spend enough time on yourself because you're very busy, see if you can find that 30 minutes a week and work on a skill that would be really useful to you in your personal life. If not, if you're perfectly balanced, then go ahead, pick something business-wise that is going to be useful to you and that is going to serve you and your business. Now, welcome to the coaching wheel, one of the absolute best tools in coaching. It is so versatile. You can use it on your business. You can use it on your personal life. You can use it on your investments if you're doing investment planning. You can use it if you have a team and you're employing a team of people. You can use the coaching wheel for your team, and you can actually work on your team development using this tool. If you have, for example, your goal until the end of the year is to strengthen the relationship with your family and friends, you can use this wheel to put your family and friends on it one by one, and it will actually help you, give you a much bigger picture. Now, what I give on my website as a tool is a business coaching tool, a business coaching wheel, which means that you can put different business categories on it. Now, today, what we're going to do in regards to examples, we're going to mix a little bit of business and a little bit of personal. What this gives you is it gives you a ready list of goals. It gives you a ready list of tasks to do according to their priority. It also gives you an opportunity to review your business. If you put business elements on it, it is part of a business plan. So you now see how versatile this is. And it is actually very simple to use, and it's been used for years and years, and coaches use it with coaches, and coaches use it with clients, and people use it on their own, and everyone finds it very, very beneficial. So if you could grab a piece of paper and draw 8 lines on it and a circle as it is on the screen, we'll start from that, and I will ask you to pop it in the chat, a couple of examples, to choose 4, 6, 8 areas. It depends how you want to use your wheel and what you want to use it for. You can divide it accordingly. This particular example is divided into 8, so we're going to try and put 8 categories on it. Now, the wheel that you're looking at in front of you, if you could let me know what kind of elements would you like me to put on it? So what is most important to you at the moment? Is it your revenue in your business? Is it your profit? Is it your staff? Is it your family in your personal life, much more above business right now? Is it, for example, your adventure? Is it your spirituality? Is it your growth? Is it what you want to learn in your development, business development, personal development? Is it your friends? So looking at this list, could you please pop a couple of categories in the chat so that we could actually use those as examples and work on them right now? Take your time, just pick a couple of categories, see if you can fill that wheel in front of you with names of categories. Now, if you can put them on the sides of the wheel, that's great, but you can pretty much put them wherever you like. We're going to be rating them between 1 and 10 in our next step. So let me know a couple of names that you have on your wheel. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on 2 pieces. So one of those pieces is going to be development and growth. And the other piece is going to be revenue and family. When you have the time, please fill in the rest of the pieces. Okay, we'll start with these 2. So in 1, we'll put development and growth. Now, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? How happy are you with your development and growth? So out of, let's say, a guess, we're putting this as an example. So let's say your development and growth is right now at 5 out of 10. And I would ask you, during a coaching session, I would ask you, okay, so what does a 10 look like, right? And a 10, you would tell me a 10 is an absolute solid time every week for your learning and for your new skills. Focus, the discipline, no procrastination, everything is happening on time. You're learning new things, you're developing your business, you're developing yourself. That is a 10 out of 10. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down 5 on the edge of that wheel. I'm going to highlight half of that wheel is going to be highlighted. So it shows me that out of the 10, only half of it is filled at the moment, and the other half has the space to get to that 10, which was the absolute happiness, discipline, no procrastination, development, personal and business, constant growth without any stress, perfectly happy. So this is what a goal is, right? So the 10 out of 10 is your goal. That is where you want to be. Now, the next step would be to work out what are the steps that you need to take, what are your tasks that you need to do to get closer to the 10 from where you are now. Whether you're at level 1 or you're at level 5 or you're at level 8, you're still away from that 10. So for example, if you're right now wanting to work on your development and growth, what is it that you could do? Could you put that 30 minutes aside once a week to start working on a new skill? Could you put that into your calendar now and get that done, right? And start getting it done on a weekly basis? Could you put a reminder in your calendar every 3 months to pick a new skill? Because at least you never have to remember it. And you don't have to go through it over and over. The calendar is going to remind you. If you're not ready to switch skills, then in 3 months, the calendar is going to ask you again, is it time to pick a new skill? Because you have now mastered it to how much you need it. So once you start doing that, you put that half an hour aside. What else could you do for your development and growth? If it's about your business, who else could you speak to? Can you make a note next to that development and growth? Who else can you speak to that you haven't spoken to yet about this particular area of your business where they could actually help you, give you some advice, give you a little bit more input? And once you have, so you have the calendar and the new skill, you have someone to speak to. And another thing would be, for example, a course. Doing a course on something specific that you're not mastering yet, but you would like to be better at. For example, networking, getting the right sales leads, speaking to someone about admin. What are the latest tools that will make your life so much easier? What is an accounting software that would be absolutely amazing and solve your problems? So you ended up in this one piece of coaching wheel. You ended up with a very clear goal of what your 10 out of 10 is. And you also have a list of 3 different tasks that you can now fit into your routines. Now, if you move on to the next section, whatever the names are on the wheel you have in front of you, let's say, for example, that your next one is revenue or family, right? So if we pick business revenue, again, how would you rate the revenue where you are at the moment between 1 and 10? What number would you put on it? You can put 3, 5, 7. And my next question would be, what is a 10? So a 10 keeps my business secure, keeps me comfortable, keeps my bank account nice and healthy, never have to worry about cash flow. Business is attractive in case I wanted to sell it. That's your 10 out of 10, right? So if you're at a 3, what else can you do to get closer to a 10? And you come up with a list of a couple of different things. Keep it manageable. You don't have to put down 10 things to do. You can always come back to this wheel. You can always draw another one. And you can basically, if you have 10 things to do on revenue, you can even put it on a separate wheel. So for example, in your revenue, you can right now go out and build new partnerships. So for example, you can go to businesses that are directly aligned with yours, that address the same customers, the same type of client you do. See if you could come up with some sort of collaboration, or maybe outright revenue paid business partnership where you would pay someone commission every time they send you a client, every time they recommend you. So whatever it is that is going to make that deal right, you can go out and you can start doing that now. In regards to other revenue, what is it that you can cut out? So how can you reduce costs to basically increase your revenue in regards to how much more attractive you could be to clients, right? So could you actually reduce your costs so that your margin grows, or keep your margin where it is, lowering your prices, getting more clients, increasing your revenue? Could you put your prices up to increase your revenue? Is the quality of the work that you're providing so good that you can be at least a little bit above the market average? Are you already the highest in the market? Are you already the highest paid? So definitely looking at your pricing, looking at your cost, looking at your collaborators, marketing, networking, sales. Those are all sorts of things that you can consider to write down a couple of different tasks that you can do to start improving your revenue and get ultimately to that goal. Now, if you have a piece somewhere that says family, you definitely want to have a look at between 1 and 10, how happy are you right now with your family situation? Put a number on it. You can highlight it according to the number. So for example, if it's a 5 out of 5, you put a line in the middle between 0 and 10. So between the middle and the edge, you put a line in the middle, you highlight the inside. Once your coaching wheel is complete, those little highlighted bits in the middle are going to give you a visual image of how straight that wheel is. So it's the proverbial wheelbarrow for your life and your business. So if you have to push it and your wheel is very uneven, you're going to have a lot of hard work to do. If your wheel is generally overall even because the levels are pretty much the same, you're going to have a nice and easy path ahead of you. Now, the whole point of doing a coaching wheel is to give yourself the idea of where you stand in each of these areas. So if you have a family area in there, sorry, coming back now, if you have a family area in there, what is the number that you would put on it in regards to your satisfaction? So are you now 2 out of 10, 9 out of 10? Are you 6 out of 10, right? Let's say you're 6 out of 10 because you would like it to be better. It's not bad, but you would like to improve it. What is a 10 out of 10? Would that be the goal? Spend every weekend with my family, be able to take them anywhere I want, give them as much attention as they need and require. And that becomes your goal, your 10 out of 10. Now, where you are at the moment, how can you start making changes? How can you start small improvements to get closer to that 10? If you can't spend the entire weekend with your family, how about every Sunday? How about every Saturday? Something that is important to them happens on a Saturday morning, but you're working. Are you able to work on Saturday afternoon and catch up on it? Are you able to do a couple of evenings instead of your weekends so that you're there for your family every week? Is there anything else that you can start doing? Picking up a hobby, for example, with your loved ones, or making regular phone calls on a regular basis, doing something with them on a regular basis so that you're there, literally in their face every week or a couple times a week so that they know that you're there. Is there anything like that that you could add to it now? And that goes on your task list. At the edge of that wheel are your task, and your goal becomes a very comprehensive list of everything you want to be doing at the moment, right? So that is pretty much how you use a coaching wheel. You fill the rest, you have a nice clear picture. You have a list of goals, you have a list of tasks. My absolute favorite in regards to coaching tools, because it allows you to quite objectively look on from the outside at your business, at your personal life, at your investments, at your teams, to your staff, your people, anything you want to use it for. Definitely please try and complete the wheel after this. And remember that there are things out there and people out there that can help you, and so many other tools that you can use. So let's say you finished your wheel and you ended up with a really long list of things to do. This is where a coach can help you, a mentor. This is where you can get someone to help you with accountability, help you with the follow-up and the follow-through, and maybe they have some other tools that they use that would be useful to you. Now, in regards to if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, it gives you a very good picture. So for example, for your list of goals, you keep it as it is, review it from time to time, and take things off the list and put new things on the list. In regards to your tasks and your to-do list, remember the 80-20 rule. So which 20% of the tasks are going to give you 80% of the results? This is a very good example in revenue and in family. Like, for example, if you do choose to be there for something once a week, every week, where they can talk to you, that is going to have a very big impact and a high result, probably bigger than other things that you could be doing with that time. Same with revenue. Something is going to have 80% impact on your revenue comparing to other things that are going to have only 20% impact. For you to test out different things is going to allow you to work out what that is. There is a brain exercise. I post that from time to time. Please let me know if you would like to get that. Write down as many things as you can. Sit down for 10 minutes once a week, write down everything that is important right now. Your brain is going to be so grateful. It's really going to thank you, because you're not going to feel so overwhelmed anymore. As simple as that will really help. Monthly habits. You can master a habit within 28 days. I encourage you to put that in your calendar as a reminder once a month. Pick a new habit. So whatever you come up with on the list of actions from the coaching wheel, pick which one of them are going to become your new habit that you can do daily, couple days, weekly, however you would like. New skill mastery every 3 to 6 months. We talked about that. A perspective tool is, if you're talking about communication, whether it's with your family or with your team members, with your clients, with your collaborators, if there's an issue anywhere, see if you can put yourself in that person's position. What is it that they're trying to tell you? And then try and put yourself in the fly on the wall position. means that during the conversations that you have with that person, if you were someone standing completely outside, how do you see it? What do you see as the issue? Why can't you reach common ground? It's sometimes much easier to imagine yourself being the witness of that conversation than being involved in it. We also have the business plan elements list. Let me know if you'd like that one. Nice and easy. All the elements in your business you can use to have a coaching wheel. Nice 8 elements. You can definitely do that. And business idea generation tool, another really useful one, where if you have a really tough challenge and you want to work out, why am I not getting enough inquiries? Right, on one piece, on one side of a sheet of paper or on a document or in an email, on one side you can write down your challenge. I'm not getting enough inquiries. On the other side, you write down the opposite. I'm getting so many calls, I'm very busy. Under that opposite, you write down all the actions that you're doing when you're getting a lot of calls. All the actions that you're doing to get a lot of calls. Then you mirror that side in opposites to under your challenge. So for example, if you say, I spend 2 hours cold calling every day, then the opposite is, I'm not spending any time cold calling. So you get a list of things to do, a list of things not to do, giving you a nice, simple idea generation. Sometimes it just makes it easy to get out of your head. Remember at the end of the day that you are one person, which means that you can do one thing at a time. You can focus on one idea at the time, and you can have one plan at a time. And that's okay. You don't have to deal with 20 things all at once. I'm currently going through a stage where I do things for 10-15 minutes a day, so that within the week I feel the progress and I have things done. Things are moving forward, but they're too much for me to do all at once. So if I do 10-15 minutes on something every day, especially if it's something I really don't want to do, at least it's moving forward. So don't beat yourself up. You are only human, and there's so much that you want to do. We only get the one life. It's not very long, so it's nice to choose your priorities and make sure that you focus on things one at a time. Now, once you start using all of these, you can definitely try it for 30 days. You can try it for 90 days. You can break it down, make sure that it doesn't feel overwhelming, and make sure that you reach out for help. I am happy to do a session with you anytime. We can go through other tools. We can go through this one, but definitely try it. See if you can speak to a colleague, a collaborator, partner, mentor, your other half, or your kids. They have different perspectives on things, or your friends. Basically, just speak to people. You find out so much just because you can actually bounce ideas off someone. So definitely let me know if you do want a coaching session. There are tools available on my website. I can send these to you. I am very grateful for your time. Thank you so much for being here. And now we can begin our Q&A session.